What's up, my color crew? It's your girl Rachel, and I'm back with another mukbang. Today I have some Southwestern egg rolls, and I made these myself. I did. I get down in the kitchen. I do. So before I start the mukbang, I'm gonna show y'all how I made this beautiful creation. All right, here we go. So as you can see, I have a cup of chopped tomatoes, a cup of black beans, a cup of spinach and corn, and those are both frozen. And then I have my chicken that I cooked up, and I'll put in the description below what I seasoned it with. So you just mix all that together until everything pretty much gets cooked. And then you add in a cup or a cup and a half of mozzarella jack cheese. And then you just let that, warm up till the cheese melts. And then you go into the part where you put them in the burrito. So I rolled these bad babies up. Put a spoonful, a wooden spoonful in each one. And I put toothpicks in them to hold them. We're gonna drop them in here. Nice golden brown crisp, and then we're gonna take them out. I just flipped them over. So, yeah, that's what we want, guys, right there. Put them in there. Perfect. Here we go, throw some more in. All right, guys, so I'm also gonna put the recipe down below because I didn't do too much of a big video. I took pictures here and there, and I showed you little bits and pieces. But I think you get the gist of it because it's very easy to make, very, very easy. So let's dig in because I'm excited. I let my husband, I made sure whenever my husband goes to work, oh, this is sour cream on the side. I love sour cream if you can see it. But my husband goes to work around 10 at night, and I always make sure I have, a hot meal ready for him to eat before he goes to work, or take with him before he goes to work. And then he always has a lunch made for later, because his lunch, since he goes to work at 10, his lunch isn't until about like 2 in the morning. So you guys, and I want to give a shout out to, oh my god, okay, so the reason why I even made these, and I love these because I normally get them from Chili's, but I never thought about making them myself. But I was scrolling through YouTube, and the mukbanger who made it, her mukbang name is, or her YouTube name is It's So Good, or I think it is It's So Good, or It's Too Good. I think it's So Good. But she made them, and I was just like, holy crap, yes. It's like it's a perfect thing to make today. So I got up, and I had a lot of the things already in my freezer and fridge and cabinet. A lot of the things you need to make this with, you might already have, like corn, tomatoes, spinach. I love spinach. I always have spinach. But shout out to her for the idea. I'm sorry, I don't remember your name, but it was my first time seeing you. So, props. Such a good idea. It's really good. Thumbs up if y'all really like sour cream. I love sour cream. So good. I got my husband's Delta cup. Put some water in it. This is really good. My husband took a bite before, he took the restaurant with him to work. And actually, let me show you guys inside. See that tomato, the corn, the spinach, chicken, beautiful. But yeah, my husband took a couple bites before he headed out, and he took the rest with him because he normally leaves like an hour and a half early, so he can get there early. And then he eats beforehand. So he said it was really good. My husband always says my food is good. So I like to always taste it to see if he's only saying it because he loves me or if he's saying it because he really enjoys it. But this is really good. It kind of really tastes exactly like the one from Chili's. It was so good. I'm really fulfilling. I'm really excited. This is something I can make myself because I don't really eat at Chili's like that. Only time when I go is when I'm craving these. I don't really eat that like from the menu. Not that I'm saying there's anything wrong with Chili's, but nothing to my taste is there that I really like besides these, and this is on the appetizer menu. It is so good. It really does taste exactly like the one from Chili's. Ooh. And it's fulfilling. So good. So I did my first vlog the other day. Vlogging is a little bit more harder. Is a little bit harder than just doing a regular mukbang. because, you know, depending on what you're doing and if you're like moving around the house or leaving the house or in a different area, I'm gonna make sure you have to remember to vlog or record what you're doing, because we're so obviously set in our ways of just, excuse me, doing our regular day-to-day things, and I forget, oh yeah, we're supposed to be, you know, recording this. So and then it's weird sometimes, like for example in my vlog, I went to go pick up my food from the Juicy Crab. It was so weird, and I was like, all right, I need to vlog me like being at the Juicy Crab, but I felt so awkward because it was so busy and there was a lot of people, and I was just like, I know if I was in a place and like I saw somebody like moving their camera around or panning their camera around, I would be like, did they just record me? You know what you know what I mean? Especially for like a new vlogger. So I was like, let me just vlog the drink that I drank, you know? So but it's a lot. Vlogging, I'd rather just do mukbangs, but I understand the point in vlogging, you know? It helps you like understand the person you're watching more, like lets you be a part of their life. Because I love watching people vlog. I'm like, yes, bring me with you when you're waking up in the morning brushing your teeth. Yes, because I feel like I know you more. You know what? You get like a better understanding of that person. You feel like you know them even more. Like, yes, take me with you when you go out, you know, walking outside and you take your dog on a walk, or your daughter, you gotta take her to daycare. Like, I love that. But it is a lot. So, props to my vloggers out there. I thought doing mukbang was like super hectic and crazy, which it is. I'm not downplaying people who do mukbangs, but when you vlog, it's a lot. It is a lot. Yeah, I normally can throw back some food, but when I'm cooking the food, I'm always like, you know, taste testing it. I'm eating while I cook. So it makes me obviously get full a lot faster. And it's so good when you're like cooking, you can smell everything, the spices and the aroma. How can you not just like nibble? You know? It's like impossible not to. Even when I go out and like bring food back from my mukbang, the food's already done. And like I'm driving, or someone else is driving me, like my husband is driving me back home. I'm nibbling on the food that I have ready, you know? How can you not? So good. I'm really shocked to myself. Like, I know I can cook, but you know, not to toot my own horn. Beep beep. But when it comes to like new things that I've never cooked before and I just watch somebody do it, I always give myself props, you know, pat on the back, because it's something different that I've never cooked, that I never thought about cooking. And then when you do a good job on the first try, you're just like, hey, hey, you know. My daughter is asleep. My husband and I, we let her play a lot today. Oh, by the way, my daughter turned 10 months today. It's so crazy. Cause I literally feel like I just had her. Like, the day is so vivid in my mind of like me going into the hospital, you know, getting induced, the pain. I remember that so vividly. The worst pain of my life. Having my husband's family there, because my family are all from like out of town. Like I told you guys, I'm from Michigan, so my family can't really be there for me, but I do have family here. But anyways, I was trying to figure out like why they weren't there, but whatever. That's a story for another time, I guess. But yeah, I had my husband's family be there, and they were there from like right when I got induced to when I finally gave birth to my daughter. And if I remember correctly, I think I was only in labor for like 7 hours, 8 hours. I think it wasn't too long, because like once they like induced me, and like even the nurses said like once they induced me, they were like, okay, so, or the doctor came in and she was like, all right, so this is probably gonna take, you know, a good 10 to 15 hours before it hits you. And I'm like, okay, cool, so I'm gonna get some sleep. Not the case. Like, they put the Pitocin in, I think that's what it's called when they induced me. I think it's called Pitocin. Put that in, and I think it was like 2-3 hours later, I started like feeling it. And it wasn't hard, like strong, what are they called? You know what I'm trying to say. Like, it wasn't very strong pains. I don't know why I can't think of it. But they weren't very strong. And so I was just like, oh yeah, you know, like I feel something. And then like they finally start kicking in. I'm so mad I can't think of the word. But oh, excuse me. They finally start kicking in. Contractions. Contractions. They finally start kicking in. And I was like, and let me tell you this still too. I was, let me eat too while I talk. I was planning on having like a natural birth, as far as like no, like no medicine to like calm the pain and everything. I didn't want any epidural. I wanted to just be natural. That's what me and my husband wanted. But baby, when I told you, woo, and I don't know how my mom did it, because I'm a twin. We're fraternal. We look nothing alike. But my mom, when she had me and my sister, my twin sister, she didn't have any type of medicine, any type of drugs. And I came out first. And I came out 14 minutes before my twin sister did. My twin sister, as my mom tells me, was head down. She was breached. I think it's called breached, but she was head down, ready to come out. And she just somehow turned herself around. So she was like butt first, foot first, you know, bottom half. And they had to reach up at my mom, twist her around, and help guide her out. My mom is the strongest mom in the world, I feel like, because she had no medicine. And she let someone a doctor, reach up in her, twist the baby around, and guide the baby out. I've experienced that when they put the Pitocin in me. I think that was the Pitocin that they were putting in me, and that hurt. Like, and it wasn't even like, it was just like, I feel so weird explaining this, but it was just like, and that hurt me, and I was bleeding. And I can only imagine what my mom had to go through when they had to like arm length in her, guide it around, and whew. My mama is strong. She's strong for that. I can never. When I felt like the first couple real contractions, I was so in pain that I started vomiting. And then I remember telling my husband, like, he was like, babe, you're doing so good, you're doing so good. The nurses came in and they were like, you shouldn't be having contractions yet. Like, you shouldn't, like, you're having really strong contractions. Like, they can keep track of, you know, when you're having contractions. And the meter was like going off. Like, it was crazy. It was going super high, off the record. And they were like coming in every like 20 to like 30 minutes, like, you shouldn't be having contractions like this yet. Like, because I told you, they told me about 10 to 15 hours, then it should kick in. So we were expecting to have her like later on the next day, like later in the day. 10 to 15 hours, excuse me. They told me about 10 to 15 hours, it should like kick in. I'm gonna have like those regular high contractions. And this happened like 3 hours, 4 hours in, or 3 to 5 hours in. And they were just like, you shouldn't be having contractions like this. Cause like the doctor that came in wasn't supposed to be the doctor that was gonna actually help me give birth. And it was a woman doctor, I can't remember her name. She wasn't supposed to be the one to do it. So like when I was having so many contractions, she was like, you know, we can go ahead and give you a cesarean, which is when they cut you open. And I was like, no, that's the last thing I want to do. I don't want that. Like I think all of my sisters have had a cesarean with one of their children. And they were just like, don't do it. Even my mom, she was like, don't do it. You know, it takes a lot longer to heal from that. And it's always going to be a certain type of pain you're going to feel for the rest of your life. So I was like, no. And the doctor was like, you know, I'm ready, you know, and she was like really pushing it. Like, she wasn't pushing it hard, but she was just like, you know, if you want to go ahead and do it, like, I'm ready, I'm here for you. Oh, let me back up, I'm so sorry. So the doctor that was there and talking to me and talking me through it, I thought she was going to be the one that helped me give birth. But I had to wait for this other doctor that I wanted. Can't remember her name either, I'm sorry. So the other doctor, she was like, I'm here, I'm ready, we can get the room ready, give you a cesarean, we can have this baby out. So no. And then I love my mom, my mother-in-law so much, my husband's mother. She was like, her and her mother, so my husband's grandma, and then my husband's mom. So I had my Gigi-in-law, and I had my grandma-in-law, and I had my mother-in-law, which I was so happy about. And every time the lady would come in, she was like, "We can do this to Sharon," and they were like, "No, no." I was saying no too, but they were backing me up. They were like, "No, that's not what she wants. She don't need it." Because when you're in that moment, like your head, especially when you're in pain, you don't know what to think. You don't know what to say. And they were just like, "No, she doesn't want it. She'll wait for the doctor." And then they were asking me, they were like, "Do you want to get epidural?" And I looked at them like, "Yes." Like, I can't deal with this pain anymore. I said, "Yes, I need an epidural, please." Luckily, because, you know, some people don't have that ability to have an epidural if they wait till the last minute. And I'm glad I didn't wait till the last minute to, like, say it, because I was dilating really quickly, like 3 centimeters, 5 centimeters, you know, 7 centimeters. I don't remember how far along I was dilated when I told them that I want an epidural, but it wasn't far enough for them to be like, "You can't, it's time to push," you know what I mean? So they were like, "All right, let's call the anesthesiologist and get you, you know, your epidural." And he took, I felt like, forever, but it was only like 30 minutes. And he came in, and I remember I was just like shaking so much because it was so much pain. And I feel like the contractions, they were like back to back to back to back. Like, I feel like I didn't have a break. Like, when I had like a quick second, I was like, whew. And then another one came on, and I was just like, "Please, I need some medicine." And the anesthesiologist came in. He was like, "All right, you know, you gotta be careful." I already knew, like, you can't move. They're putting a needle in the back, in your back, and in like your bone. And they're like, "You can't move." But I have never, when you're in that much pain, you're shaking. I was shaking so much because I was in so much pain. And he was like, "Just sit still." And like, I love my husband so much because he was there. He sat right next to me on the bed, and he held me, you know. And then my mother-in-law was right there in my face, and she was like, "Just concentrate on my voice and look at me." And I was in so much pain, and I'm like trying to hold back the shaking, and because I didn't want to, like, if they hit your spine in the wrong way, like, you can literally like lose feeling in your legs and you can't walk anymore. So I was like, I was trying so hard, but like they finally got it in, stuck in a needle, which actually kind of hurt a little because it's very sensitive in your back. Like, and it's a long needle that goes in. But yeah, it's a needle, and then it's a tube that like keeps pumping in the medicine. And I remember just like when it finally hit me, and I was just like, it felt so good. It was like, it's kind of like euphoric, because I mean, it's not like you feel high, but you don't really feel any pain. And that can be any pain. Like, you could have had a headache and it'd be like gone. But it felt really good. And then I felt my legs like starting to get numb. Like from my waist down, started getting really numb. My legs started getting heavy. And every couple hours, I know the nurses had to come in and flip me over from side to side so I could get some circulation. So, you know, like when your leg falls asleep or your foot falls asleep, you move around to get that blood circulation going. But when you got that going in you, flowing, you don't feel when your leg's asleep because your leg feels like it's asleep the whole time. But it doesn't feel like that, like numbing, like sensation of falling asleep, like where like you're like, oh, my leg fell asleep. It just feels like nothing. And so I'd be like, all right, you need to flip onto the other side, you need to flip onto the other side. And I didn't really feel anything down there. I remember when she went back, the doctor came in and she went and pulled the Pitocin out. I think that's what it's called, the Pitocin. So they pulled that out, and I didn't feel that at all. Like the first time she like went up in there and put it in me, I felt all that and it hurt and I was bleeding. But when she pulled it out, I didn't feel anything. Like I can tell she was there, but it didn't feel like anything. It just felt like, you know, somebody rubbing on your arm like this, like softly. And when it was finally time to like push her out, they laughed at me because I was making the funniest faces because I couldn't feel it. So they were like, all right, Rachel, ready? 1, 2, 3, push. And I was just like, you know? And I'm just like looking at my husband, I'm like, did I do anything? Like, is it coming? And they were just like, they were laughing at me. And then like, they were like, you're doing it, like my doctor, bless her heart, she was like, you're doing a really good job, Rachel. You know, you should be teaching classes on how to push. That was a lie, but I appreciate her for like finding the humor in the situation and the like helping me, giving me that motivation that I needed to push. But she came out in I think like 3 or 4 pushes. And they placed her on me. And I thought I was gonna cry, like I wanted to, but I was just like so overwhelmed. I was just like I was breathing hard and heavily. And they were like wiping her off and she started crying. And I was just like, oh my God. Like in that moment right there, I was like, this is my child. I'm a mom. Like it was crazy. Like I wanted to cry, but I couldn't like bring myself to tears because I was just like so overwhelmed as far as like, oh my God, I just gave birth. Like this is crazy. Like giving birth is a thing. Like I always seen things on YouTube, or obviously I have siblings and stuff like that, but it was just so weird. It was crazy. It was an amazing feeling. It's like no feeling you can really just explain, but like as soon as you like your child is brought out and they lay on you and you're just like, all these things go through your mind. Like I've always wanted to know what you look like. I always wanted to know what you were gonna sound like. You know, I always wanted to know how heavy you were gonna be. Like I want to see your fingers, like your eyes, your hair, like all that's going through your mind. So it's like some women can cry, but in my instance, I was just like, whoa. You know, I was just like, wow. It was an amazing experience. It's a beautiful experience. It was a beautiful experience. And I want to experience that again. At least one more time so I can have my boy. One more time. And I know ahead of time that I'm going to be like, let me get that epidural. Like now. You feel me? Because, woo, Jesus. That was some pain for you. But yeah. It was amazing. It was an amazing experience. And it's fun. Like from start to finish. Like you're walking in and you get to see your room. And you meet your nurses and people come visit you and you're in your gown and you're sitting and you're waiting. It's an amazing experience. But I'm saying all this to say, it's crazy that my daughter is 10 months today. 10 months. Like I said, I feel like I just had her yesterday. Wow. And now she's like crawling all over the place and trying to walk and no mama yet. Like I wasn't the one that carried her for 9 months. almost 9 months. It's fine. When I have my boy, I'm sure he's gonna be mama, mama, mama all day. But yeah, she's amazing. She is. She has my attitude. Not happy about that. But just so funny. It's so amazing to see like her come into her like personality and her characteristics and at such a young age. It's great. Alright, last bite and then I'm done. I'm so full, y'all. These are big. These are big. And I packed them. I'm tired. All right. Ooh, I am full. But thank you guys so much for watching me. I appreciate you guys. Until next time, a color crew.